We searched all over Arizona, driving back roads and whatnot, trying to find the ideal property. And it wasn't until I drove up this canyon down a dirt road and kind of came into Cochise Canyon. And I told Janine, I go, this is exactly what I'm looking for. It's a beautiful canyon, a lot of public land, surrounded by public land, big swirls, big rocks, lots of vegetation. And so as soon as I saw it, I knew this is where I had to be. So I built 3 blinds out here. The first blind was intended to be an evening blind, and I've now turned it into primarily a mammal blind because I have a little ground level water hole. My second blind is now my primary evening blind, and it's down in a wash with a lot of vegetation, so it tends to be really good for birds and good in the evening with beautiful light. And so this morning blind is kind of fun because I did a water table. I did a reflection table at eye level. It's 12 foot by 12 foot. So you're sitting right at water level, and yet you have it, because it's a table, you have an out of focus background. Where normally when you're at a pond, you have the shoreline, you have some edge, you have some edgings and rocks and stuff. So I was really trying to almost make it like an infinity pool. You still end up with 1 inch or 2 of rocks across the one side. And I've experimented with sand and small rocks, and capillary effect ends up just draining all the water out. So I've had to go with little bigger rocks, but now I have this fun little reflection pool, and then this blind in the wash, and it's quite busy here. And every year it just gets busier and busier. What's interesting is my vision for this was mostly for birds and bird photography. This area in particular has been exceptionally productive for mammals. In fact, one of my most popular offerings down here is a nighttime camera trapping workshop where you bring your camera, I bring the flashes and the triggers, and I go over all the pros and cons of the different triggers, and then we hook up your camera to all my setup and you come away with photos. And what's been exciting is we now have javelinas that come by almost every night. We have a pair of gray fox that do come by every night, a ringtail cat that comes by nearly every night. We got to see it last night. And then a wide variety of other animals. I've seen everything from raccoons, coatimundi, coyotes, deer, bobcats. We've had a bobcat last week come by a couple times. As a professional photographer myself, this has been wonderful because I've set up everything like I would want it. You know, the distant backgrounds, the beautiful perches, that kind of thing. And so it's exactly what I want, so I know it's going to appeal to other photographers. The final thing is the landscape's beautiful around here. You get the wildflowers blooming. There's an area that I water on the hillside next to the Airstream, so it's going to have a good wildflower bloom even in a dry year. And you got the night skies. You got just cactus and close-ups and macro. I mean, there's really something for everybody. And I find people that come here, spend a couple nights, I see them out on their hands and knees taking pictures of stuff on the ground one moment and then night skies, and it's really rewarding for me to see people being able to be so productive out here with photography.